And we welcome you here to the 2025 TSSAA Middle School Volleyball Class A Championship between the West Greene Buffaloes and the Bellevue Owls. I'm Ethan Markham, joined by Mary Dayton in what should be a phenomenal matchup. Both these teams have looked great all throughout the tournament. They've played each other once already in what was a good match, and it should be another one.
So when you look at the history of both teams, West Greene has been here every year since this started in 2023. They were champions the first year. Last year they were second place. So they are used to being here.
Absolutely. They have a great team, and it should be a good one. We'll send it down to the PA for the starting lineups. We are getting ready to start here in what should be just a minute or so, in what should be hopefully the best match of the tournament. These teams have been dominant all throughout, and as you mentioned, if you look over at West Greene, they already won it. They won it 2 years ago, 2023 state champions, last season runner-ups, and they returned 6 of their 12 starters from last season.
So you look at that and say, okay, this is hands down the team that should come out on top if you're thinking that way. But honestly, West Greene and Bellevue, I feel like these two teams match up really nicely just compared to what we saw earlier with Bellevue's play.
Absolutely. It's going to be fun. You look at the difference in the way these teams are styled. Obviously, Bellevue, from what we saw earlier, has a fun vibe. They're loose. They're relaxed. Whereas if you look at the other side of that, I mean, there's just pure dominance. They've been here. They've done that, and they're hoping to do it again. Yeah. It should be good.
West Greene has set a tradition, and one of those teams that a new team that is playing them, they're going to be hesitant first just because they know that they've had some success.
So we are getting ready to start. It'll be Mackenzie Burns who will serve to open things up. They'll just send it right back over. That's going to go way out of play, and that'll be a point for West Greene. They'll take the lead.
We're seeing some energy off of West Greene right now. I like what I'm seeing.
Burns will serve again. They pop that up. They'll go back over the middle, and that's going to go out past the line. That'll be another point for the Buffaloes. Another good serve by Burns. They'll set up for Cobb. And that's into the net, and that'll be another point for West Greene.
This could be a little bit of nervous jitters for Bellevue. They've not been in this situation where they're playing for a state championship, whereas West Greene has been here before. They understand what the pressures could look like from the start. Absolutely,
and that's going to be a point for the Owls. Bellevue gets on the board. It's now 3-1. So Savannah Wynn will go back and she'll serve. Wynn with the serve. And that's going to stay in. That'll be an ace for Savannah Wynn.
Savannah served very well earlier in the semifinals. She and Cobb, I felt, were really good leaders on the floor, setting the precedence for today's match already.
So Wynn will serve again. It comes over the net, and that's going to be a point for Bellevue. And we're tied up 3-3. That just gets out of their reach. They're going to keep it alive. They'll set up for Cobb, and she sends it right into the net, and that'll be a point for West Greene. Leah Peters with a serve. Here's Cobb. They send it to Peters, and Peters puts it in the net, and that'll be a point for Bellevue. A correction, that was Avery Peters. So Zoe Cobb will go back and serve. And that's going to be another point for Bellevue, and the Owls will take their first lead of the set. Here's Cobb. They'll set on the left for Erlu. And it's sent back on a block by Emily Fleisch. So Cobb will serve again. We go back to the right. A lot of high sets here. And that's going to be a kill. Carmen Gaines with a kill.
I'm noticing West Greene plays a different style of defense when they're in their base position. They have the setter at the front net, and everybody else is in a W formation. It's interesting because I remember that defense from last year, and they were second place last year, the year before a champion, and they still ran this type of defense. It's unique because they're making their bets on their defense and not their blocking. They're not the tallest of teams, but they are very good at defense.
Very disciplined team as well. It'll be Williams who's back to serve again. They'll set up. There's Erlu. They go back to that right side. They almost find the gap. Going up left, here's Erlu. That's going to get just out of reach, and that'll be a point for the Owls. 7-6 in favor of Bellevue. And that's going to be a point for Bellevue, and now they've got an 8-6 lead. And that's going to be a point for West Greene. It was mishandled by Montez Rodriguez.
You realize that it's a back and forth set so far. One side scores a point or two, the other side, and I really feel like we're not going to see the runs that we've seen earlier. I feel like these two teams are really matched up well.
They both have played very well so far. That'll be another point for the Owls. But these two teams do seem very evenly matched. They counter each other well, and it should continue to be a great match. Medina Angeles is back to serve. And that's going to be a kill. Ansley Shelton finds a gap. They set up for Erlu, and she gets it down for a kill. Both teams trading points. It's 10-8. Jalen Erlu back to serve. And she can't get to it in time, and that's another point for West Greene. Sheldon serve. And Montez Rodriguez didn't get to it correctly, and it's going to be 10-10. We're all tied up. Out past the line, and a service error gives the lead back to Bellevue. So Azalea LeBlanc. They set up, there's Cobb. A great block that almost got down for a point. And that's mishandled by LeBlanc, and that'll be a point for West Greene. Mackenzie Burns will serve. They just have to send it back over, but it's into the net instead, and that's going to be a point for West Greene, who takes back the lead.
That's been a rare hitting error today. We've seen many of their shots, if not most, go over the court and find the court.
Burns with a serve. And Montez Rodriguez couldn't get underneath it, and that'll be an ace for West Greene. There's Burns. They just have to send it back over. Some miscommunication on both sides. They set up for Cobb. Go back to Cobb again. She puts it into the net, and that'll be another point for West Greene. West Greene now with their largest lead. 3 points. And now it's 4. Erlu couldn't get underneath it. And now 15-11. And we're going to get a timeout. Coach Goodner wants to have a word with her team.
She's noticing a shift of momentum. The serving of West Greene is starting to affect her team. They're not able to get that pass where they want it, and the hitters are having to look behind their shoulder to see where to hit the ball instead of seeing the court. So they just have to regroup. And we noticed this earlier. She doesn't talk to them really long. She just gets them reconnected with what the next goal is, and then she sends them out there to pull together like they are right now and just telling each other, we can do this.
It definitely seems like a big part of her coaching style is trusting her team, letting them make their own decisions, and letting them talk to themselves as well, letting them have a word with their teammates as opposed to just listening to her.
One is giving the captains an opportunity to speak what they are seeing out there and just to motivate their teammates in an effective way.
So Burns serves again. Sent over by Cobb. They set up over the middle. Montez Rodriguez with a diving save. Cobb will lob it back over. Here's Cobb again. Cobb goes up, tries to find that back corner. That'll be a violation and a point for Bellevue.
I think the referee called a back row attack, and I think there was just it happens sometimes. The referee thought the hitter was on the back row and she actually was on the front row. So she's able to make that kind of play.
So the score remains 15-11. Burns will serve again. Here's Cobb. That is sent high and into the net of the basketball goal. They keep it alive somehow. Wynn sets it for Cobb. They go back to Cobb again. She goes to that corner. They go to Cobb again. They continue to try and go to that route. They almost got the kill. Wynn sets it for Cobb. Montez Rodriguez. They're going back to Cobb again. This time she just lobs it over. And Cobb has to save it. She does to that back corner. Here's Wen. Here's Cobb. And that's going to be a point for Bellevue, or correction, West Greene.
That was a great rally. Could have gone either direction. Just happened to be a nice cross-court swing from West Greene.
A lot of back and forth. It's now 16-11. West Greene with their largest lead, 5 points as Burns serves again. It just gets over the net. They set up over the middle. They'll set for Cobb. Two teammates almost collide in defense. And that's going to be a point for Bellevue. It's 16-12. Savannah Wen is back to serve again. And that's going to be a service ace. 16-13 Bellevue gets back in it. They cut it down to a 3-point lead. And that was a big part of their victory earlier. Wen was dominating serving.
She's got a nice flat knuckleball serve that goes over and it drops all different places.
Here's Cobb to that back corner. And it's just past the line. That'll be a point for West Greene. Early sends it over. Just trying to keep it alive. They will just send it back over the net. Here's Wen. She sets for Cobb. They send it back. They set around the edge for Peters, and that goes out past the line. And that'll be a point for Bellevue. So Zoe Cobb will serve. They're just going to have to send that over. They didn't have any time to set anything up. And right into the net. And that'll be a point for West Greene. It was Saray Boyce. Williams' serve is out past the line. They'll say it was in the line. And that'll be a service ace, and West Greene back up by 5.
Coach Goodner's questioning whether to call a timeout. She's hoping that this next play is going to.
I think if you give up another one, you might have to.
I know.
They set up for Erlu. And that's out past the line, and that'll be a point for Bellevue. Camila Montez Rodriguez will serve. Owls down by 4 here in set 1. Sent up high by Cobb. They'll set for Erlu, who'll just lob it over. Great save by Montez Rodriguez, and they almost keep it alive, but it will be a point for West Greene. And she tried to call her own number when tried to send it over, but puts it in the net, and that'll be a point for West Greene. We'll have another timeout. Coach Goodner needs to have a word.
She's noticing her team looking at the scoreboard too much, and then you got to understand that earlier this team came back from deficits of 6 or more. I forget the exact number, but it's one of those things where you have to just keep playing. Don't let the little things get to you. So what if you make a mistake? You can't dwell on it. You have to move on into the next play.
Absolutely. And you look at the other side for West Greene. It's just got to go ahead, get these 4 points, finish out the first set. You can't give too much momentum over to the Owls. That's the longest time we've seen Goodner talk with her team, assumedly all weekend.
That's right. As far as West Greene goes, I feel like they're getting the job done. They're productive from the serving standpoint. Their defense, their swings. They have a great setter, and I feel like they're just finding the shots that they need to find.
It'll be Carmen Gaines who will serve. West Greene needing just 4 points to take set one. Zoe Cobb sent it back over. They'll set around the edge. They go back to that corner and they find a gap. That's a kill. Erlu is able to send it down. It's 21-16. Medina Angeles will serve. And that'll be a violation, and that'll be a point for the Owls. It's 21-17. Bellevue pulls within 4. Angela's serve. They'll just send it back over. The setup, there's Williams. Erlu. Now Williams going over to Peters, and that's going to be a point for Bellevue.
Those are tough calls. We've seen them call those tight all day long. They're calling if the ball does not go over the net, like a knuckleball does in baseball. It has to have no rotation. If it rotates, it's illegal. If it doesn't rotate, it's fine.
And that's going to be mishandled there. They find a way to keep it going. Cobb sends it over. They'll set for Williams. Win. Back over. Erlu. Go over to Shelton, and that's going to get past, and that'll be a point for West Greene. And the Buffaloes lead it by 4, just 3 points away from taking set one. So it's Cambry Brown back to serve. Good save by Montez Rodriguez. She'll send it back over. There's Brown. Williams. Erlu sends it over now. They popped it up high. Here comes Williams again. Over the backside. That's going to get past him, and that's going to be a point for Bellevue.
I really like the execution of the slide hit. We don't see that very often at the middle school level, and I really feel Bellevue needs to use that as much as they can.
Absolutely. Jalen Erlu will serve. Peters, it gets over. It almost hits the ground, but it'll hit the net, and that'll be a point for West Greene. 23-19. Shelton serves. And that's going to be a point for West Greene, a service ace. And we are here at set point. The Buffaloes one away from taking set one. Ansley Shelton, there's the serve. It gets down for another service ace. And the West Greene Buffaloes take set one, 25-19 over the Owls. We'll take a quick break. You're watching the 2025 TSSAA Middle School Volleyball Class 1A Championship on the NFHS Network. And we are back getting ready to start set two of the TSSAA Middle School Volleyball Class A State Championship. As West Greene took set one 25-19 in what was a great set one. The score is a little bit misleading. It was even closer than it would show.
That is correct. I think West Greene had a good game plan, and they executed it well. The serving, the passing, the swings, the defense. And again, this is a team that does not put up a block. They sit back and they play defense. That's their first line of defense, and they're okay with that. And as you can tell, they're successful doing that as well.
Absolutely. It'll be Savannah Wynn who will serve to get us underway.
And Bellevue, all they have to do is just relax and just play their game just like we saw earlier today. They just have to get back into that confident mode, and they'll be fine.
The serve by Wynn. And that's going to get down, and that'll be a point for the Owls. So Bellevue up 1-0 to start off set 2. Savannah Wynn will serve again. And that goes out past the line, and that'll be a point for West Greene. So Leah Peters will serve. And that's going to fall into the net, and that'll be a point for West Greene. They take the lead. It was Emily Vleisch who was not able to send it back over. Vleisch sends it over, and that's going to be a point for the Owls. It's now 2-2.
I think the last couple plays, Bellevue has managed the serve well. Earlier in the first set, they were struggling a little bit, but the passes are starting to look much more clean.
Good serve by Cobb. They set it for Vleisch. Peters sent it back over. Here's Montez Rodriguez. She's going to set for Erlu. Vleisch tries it again and puts it back in the net. It's now 3-2 in favor of the Buffaloes. Williams with a serve. Shelton. They're going to set up for Erlu. And that's going to get down, and that'll be a kill.
That's a good spot. As far as the defensive players on the back row, they're splitting the court, and if you put it right through the middle, that should be an effective hit.
Montez Rodriguez with the serve. Set up now for Shelton, and that's out past the line, and that'll be a point for Bellevue. Serve by Montez Rodriguez. They lob it back. Cobb. They set for Erlu. And that's out past the line. And that'll be a point for Bellevue. And they're now up 5-3. Another serve. Good save by Cobb. There's Erlu. Here's Shelton. Erlu gets underneath it. They pop it back over. Cobb. There's Erlu, and she misses it. And that'll be a point for West Greene.
Both sides are having really good transition. It's just that particular set was just a little bit tight.
They'll set it high, and that's going to go right back into the net again. Azalea LeBlanc that time couldn't elevate, and we're tied up at 5-5. Carmen Gaines will serve again. They do get it back over, and that'll be a point for Bellevue. Mishandled by Gaines. Substitutions as Daniela Medina Angeles will come in, and she will serve for Bellevue. The Owls up 6-5 here in set 2. Shelton almost had a kill. Violation, and that'll be a point for West Greene. Cambry Brown is back to serve. And that's right into the net. LeBlanc sends it into it. And it's now 7-6 in favor of the Buffaloes. That's 3 times we've seen that here in set 2. They'll set up for Erlu and make it 4. Brown will serve again. They'll just have to send it back over. There's Peters. Cobb to win for LeBlanc. And that'll be a point for Bellevue.
They really needed that after the last couple plays where they were struggling getting the hit over.
Absolutely. They really needed that to get back on track momentum-wise. Jalen Erlu will serve. And that's out past the line, and that'll be a point for West Greene. A service error on the Owls. Shelton. Wynn will set it up for LeBlanc. And that gets down for a kill. Azalea LeBlanc.
It's a nice swing. Again, that middle area against West Greene's defense is going to work. Now, a typical defense that you would play against would not have that as a spot that could be open, but this particular defense, that is open.
Peters sends it back over. LeBlanc pops it up. He'll set for Cobb. Batted around at the net. They do keep it going. They'll set for Cobb. And that'll be a point for Bellevue, and we are tied back up at 9-9. That'll be out past the line. There'll be another service error on Bellevue. That time on LeBlanc. And West Greene retakes the lead. So it's Mackenzie Burns back to serve. There's Cobb. And that's back into the net. And the Buffaloes now up by 2. Burns serves again. They set for Cobb. It hit the net but got over. They pop it up. There's Cobb. They set it for Cobb again. That's going to get down, and that's going to be a point for Bellevue.
I was waiting on Cobb to unleash. I felt like she was holding back a little bit on her first few swings, and on that last one, she finally got a good heavy swing on it.
And right now, Bellevue just doing everything they can to keep up. Every time that they score, it's responded to by a point from the Buffaloes. They go to Cobb again. They're not going to respond with a point that time. It's 11-11. Bellevue ties it up.
This is what Bellevue has to do. They have to keep swinging and keep West Greene on their toes.
They have to play their game in order to have a chance to win this set and move to a set 3. Savannah Wynn. She will serve. And that's going to go out past the line, and that'll be a point for West Greene. It's now 12-11. Leah Peters will serve. They'll set for Vleish. They're going to Cobb. And then it'll go out past the line, and it's now 13-11. There's Cobb. They set for Cobb. And they find a way to get in that back corner, and that's a kill for the Buffaloes. This is the largest lead of set 2, 14-11. West Greene up by 3. Leah Peters. The setup for Cobb. They'll pop it up. Wynn will just send it over. That'll be a violation on Bellevue, and that'll be a point for West Greene. We'll have a timeout. Coach Goodner.
Is not something that a team usually practices against. So you're going to have to figure out what's the best method of finding a spot where we can make those hits go down, such as the ones that Cobb did earlier in the middle of the court. You've got to find those options.
On the other side for West Greene, they're just doing a great job right now of making Bellevue play their style of volleyball.
I'm really impressed with the setter. She's putting the ball where it needs to go. The hitters are finding those smart shots, and they're just finishing.
So Leah Peters will serve. We are out of the timeout. They do keep the play alive. They just have to send it back. They'll set up for Williams. Mishandled by Montez Rodriguez, and that's another point for West Greene. They're now up 16-11. Peters will serve again. Wynn just has to lob it over. And Peters puts it into the net, and that'll be a point for Bellevue to end the scoring run.
And that is a rare hitting error. She's hit well this whole match. Now let's just see if Bellevue can execute.
Cobb with a serve. And that's going to be a kill. Vleish sends it to the back line, and it's now 16-13.
Starting to see some life. I like what I'm seeing. Hits going towards the middle. There is no block in front of her. Traditionally, that hit would not be there, but since there isn't a block, swing away.
Cobb with a serve. They'll set up. Wynn. Over to Erlu. And that's going to be a point for Bellevue. 16-14. The Owls are clawing at the deficit. There's Cobb. Wynn sets it up for Cobb. They put it up high. They do keep it alive. Here's Wynn. Big set for Erlu. Good back and forth. Here's Erlu again. And that's going to be another point for Bellevue. They've scored 4 straight. And we're going to get a timeout, West Greene.
It's a good timeout as far as the score shows. Get your team kind of regrouped. But honestly, they're still playing really well. It's just Bellevue starting to play well also. And I feel like Bellevue's just got to keep the momentum going. Protect serve. And let's see what we can do with it.
It's going to be interesting to see how they come out of this timeout. We haven't seen a lot of times where the timeouts haven't worked. If you're Bellevue, you have to make this count. You got to keep scoring because the season is quite literally on the line.
That's right.
So it's going to be Zoe Cobb who will be back to serve. We are ready to go. So here's Cobb. That was almost an immediate point. They'll set up. Here's Wynn over to Erlu. Sends it back across. Williams to Cobb. Wynn. Over to Erlu. And that's going to get down in front of 3 Buffaloes. And that'll even things up at 16-16 here in set 2. So Cobb will serve again. The Owls have scored 5 straight. Diving save, and that's going to go out of play, and that'll be a point for West Greene. Buffaloes take back the lead at 17-16. And that gets down, and that's going to be a service ace for Carly Williams. And Williams will serve again. They pop it up. Here's Erlu. And mishandled, and that'll be another point for West Greene.
Great swing. Just a part of West Greene, just swinging away, passing good to target, finding that good set. And as far as Bellevue goes, just get the ball back. We're 2 points away if we get this one.
Williams with a serve. Out past that back line. Service error, and it's now 19-17. Montez Rodriguez. The set for Erlu. Going back around. That's going to get down, and that'll be a point for West Greene.
It's for a little miscommunication. They have to remember to shuffle side to side to get those plays, the balls up like that.
Buffalo's now just 5 away from their second ever state title. It'll be popped up. They set up for Erlu. Here's Williams. They go back to Erlu again on the corner. It's mishandled. They keep it alive. Thanks to Brown. Wynn sets it up for LeBlanc. That gets down in front of the net. But it'll be a net violation on Bellevue. And it's going to be 21-17. So Carmen Gaines back to serve. LeBlanc sends it over. The set on the edge for Shelton, and that's going to be another point for West Greene. And we're going to get a timeout as Coach Goodner will use her last timeout and talk things through with her team.
Bellevue has to get their focus back. I think they're focusing on the wrong things as far as scoreboard goes. They have to just play it one at a time and just regroup and play together as a team. I don't think they're pointing fingers or anything like that. I just feel like they just got to regroup and get it back one at a time.
They got to get back together, trust each other, and make some plays here and there to get back into it and extend their season. It'll be Carmen Gaines who will serve. West Greene just 4 away from another state championship. Gaines with a serve. Erlu gets it down for a kill. 22-18, Bellevue stops the run, but they've got to put up points. It's going to be Daniela Medina Angeles to serve. Kimber Brown pops it up. They set for Shelton. That's going to get down for a kill. Ansley Shelton. Buffalo is now just 2 away. Cambry Brown with the serve. They set up for Erlu. Back over the middle. Good save. They go to Cobb. Over to Peters now, who puts it into the net, and that'll be a point for Bellevue.
I think that's what they needed. They needed to have something happen for that is going their way. Now we just got to protect serve.
So Jalen Erlu back to serve. And that's into the net, and that'll be a point for Bellevue. So now Erlu will serve again. It's sent over. Cobb. Over to Wen. They set for Cobb again. Here's Peters. And that's going to get down. And that'll be a kill for Leah Peters. And here we are, match point. The Buffaloes one away from their second state championship. Mishandled by Montez Rodriguez. They pop it back up. They'll just have to send it over. They'll set for Williams. Still going, Brown. They'll lob it over. Here's Wynn to Cobb. Back, they'll set for Williams. Cobb lobs it back. Williams going up. It's mishandled, and that'll do it. And the West Greene Buffaloes, for the second time in 3 years, are state champions.
Well, they executed their game plan well. And it's okay to look different as far as the way your game is played. But as you notice, they did everything they needed to, and they have been state champs 2 out of 3 years. And as far as Bellevue, keep your chin up. This is your first appearance. There are quite a few 7th, 6th graders sprinkled into this team. But this could be a start of a new tradition for them as well. They've got some talent. I like what the coach does. I like the culture that team has, and it's just a matter of them just learning from this and moving on.
Absolutely, a lot of great talent, a great foundation being built over at Bellevue for this volleyball program. But just an amazing accomplishment for West Greene in 3 seasons to go and win 2 titles and be runners-up in the 1 year you didn't. Just an incredible, incredible accomplishment. And we'll send it down to the PA for the award presentation.